What's going on, everybody? It's Going for Broke 22 here, and welcome back to the Long Dark. As you might be able to tell, I appear to have a bad tendency to lose track of time during these recordings, which has resulted in me having to end off the episode at an unintended point for the last three episodes. But when we last left off, I was making our way to a location in Mystery Lake where we will be able to map out a lot of the surrounding area. And at the same time, I'll be showing off the mapping mechanics while I'm at it. And this has been about 2 episodes in the making so far. I intended to get this done a long time ago, but in between weather, in between the weather in game preventing me from doing so, and getting attacked by a series of wolves, it has resulted in, my inability to get that done quite yet. But nothing is holding us back this time, assuming that wolf over there does not decide to give us trouble, which he very well might. He's a lot closer than I would like him to be. In fact, there are two of them. But thankfully, they appear to have not noticed me. Because if they had noticed me, they would have charged me already. Of course, we're not quite out of the woods yet. They're still in our general vicinity. But as we are leaving the camp office here, we will be heading over here to this access to the river. And from here, we can find a mountaineering rope that will allow us to begin our ascent towards towards the lake viewpoint up here. Now, from my understanding, there are 17 different Polaroids across various locations in the game, and the only time that you are able to use these locations as vistas, which will allow you to map out a large chunk of your map all at once, is after you have found the Polaroid saying how good that would be to do so. Which I don't necessarily agree that that is a limitation, but that is how it works. At least I'm pretty sure the rope is up here. It's kind of weird that we can't just walk up this side of this mountain here, if it really is up here. I feel like I might be misremembering the location of it a bit. So as you can see, we have sprained our wrist, and as a result, we cannot carry our rifle, which is just fantastic. But I'm pretty sure that also means we will not be able to climb this rope. So I'm going to be climbing back down here because I'm pretty sure I'm misremembering where the rope is anyway, which is just lovely. But in order to heal our sprained wrist here, I will be needing to use one of our bandages that we crafted near the end of the last episode. And I guess I'm going to be looking around again to find this godforsaken rope. There's a backpack here, which I had not seen before.
I can always use more food.
That we can, Mackenzie, that we can. And it is worth noting that I don't know exactly what pain does. I would just, obviously, it probably has negative repercussions to just leave around. If you want to cure pain, it's going to take 2 painkillers per instance of pain on your healthometer there, for lack of a better word. But as you can see, we have found the mountaineering rope, and if you walk up to it and press X on the PlayStation controller, you begin to climb it. You cannot climb this rope if you are even slightly encumbered, and God forbid you do not make it to the top of the rope before your stamina in the bottom right there bottoms out. Because if it bottoms out while you are still climbing the rope, you will fall and you will take a lot of damage and a bunch of bad things will happen, or you may just end up dying. And in particular, this climb might be a bit more harrowing than some others, as there's actually 2 ropes that we have to climb one after another, the second of which is much longer than the first. Let's see, does our stamina actually come back? No, we actually have to wait. Okay, so I'm going to just sit here for a moment and wait for my stamina to return. And in the meantime, I suppose I can just have a general discussion with you all. I've been talking about my plans for the channel in these last couple of episodes, and I do intend to stick with them. I do not plan on uploading multiple episodes a day, as I have been these past couple times. I can't guarantee that will be my general schedule, but you know, I will attempt to upload an episode every day if I can help it. You know, that all depends on my schedule and if something comes up, which it very well might from time to time. Like I said in the last episode, I don't live the busiest life on planet Earth, but while I usually don't have a lot going on, it does not mean that I will not sometimes be incapable of uploading. And after a very tiresome climb, Mackenzie has finally made it to the top of this mountain. Uh, and as you can see over here, we are going to be treated to a very beautiful sight. We are going to actually be around here to witness the beauty of this place in the excuse me for a moment, in, you know, the sunrise. This is also a potential spawn for ptarmigans,
So
and you'll see that we do have a deer carcass over here. I'm going to check near because there could be an arrow. There's not, but there could have been. But I'm going to be taking one of these ptarmigans with us, not to ruin the moment. I missed. Well, that is embarrassing. But yeah, we can be treated to a very beautiful sight here, just the lake during the sunrise. And if we go to pull out one of these pieces of charcoal, you will see that this is a Vista location. So we can take out the charcoal and press R2 to survey the local area. And because this is a Vista, it will show us a lot of stuff all over. And it'll actually map places where we can fish. It'll map different types of plants, carcasses, or potential loot around. Some of which we may not have even known was here. And of course, we can also just generally use the charcoal when we're not at a Vista, and while it will not be as efficient, we can still use it to map an area around us, which is worth noting. And we did not come up here just for that, because apart from those ptarmigans, which I absolutely messed up the ability to get, we are also going to potentially be bringing back a couple of these rabbits, because we actually need some rabbit skins. But there's also a cave over here, within which could be a stash of good things. So first and foremost, there is a corpse here, and by him we do not appear to have much of note. He has an energy bar and decent wool toque on him, which is fine by me. He's taking his summer soda and his book, and would you look at that, he's even gathered a bit of firewood for us. And there's also a lockbox here, which we do not have the key for. But I do know where that key is, so we may be coming back here at a later date to make use of that. But considering that it is actually warm in this cave, which is something that is worth noting, I'm going to be actually making this fire to heal up a bit, using this last cattail head. I'm going to cook up some food and stuff to raise up our skills, and then I'm going to show you a quicker way to get down that does not involve those mountaineering ropes, because those things are very tiring. Granted, they're actually a lot less tiring to go down as opposed to going up, but it's always worth considering your options when it comes to these kinds of things. So I'm going to just cook something here, probably just cook this dusty pork and beans, because you can cook it directly on the fire if you so choose, because we are getting quite hungry. And I'm going to be heading back, and we're going to be taking down a couple of those rabbits, and potentially a deer if all works well. And I think that will be the end of this episode. I know this is going to be a lot shorter than my previous ones, but I did not intend for them to go as long as they have been going. So I hope you all can forgive me for making this one a bit shorter. Once I have some more proper feedback on the style of these videos, whether or not you guys want longer or shorter episodes, then I will adjust accordingly. But for the time being, I am going to be taking this arrow here, and we're going to be practicing some archery. So when you're aiming your bow here, you're going to want to you only have a certain amount of time you can handle it for. You want to aim where the arrow is pointing. So there's one rabbit down. I'm going to be grabbing a couple of these little dudes, because we actually need a total of 7 rabbits to get the minimum amount of rabbit hides for the things that we were trying to make with them. I actually missed there, which was not my intention. Also not the worst thing could happen. They will go running for a bit, but as long as they will not go too awful far, all things considered. And then I'm going to bring these dudes back over to the fire and potentially cook them up. But first I gotta find where the heck they ran to. I'm going to be grabbing a couple of these dudes, and we're not actually going to be taking the ropes back down. And while this is not the way I recommend most people do it, this is the way I'm going to be doing it. Let's try and get a better shot. I missed again. I'm gonna crouch up to him. It is worth noting that you cannot crouch using the bow unless you have literally the maximum archery skill. So if you're wondering why I'm not doing that, that would be why. I'm actually going to take out this one with a stone. Oh, nope, I scared him off by mistake because his friend was right there. It's not the worst thing in the world. Come around that tree. There we go. Dang, missed again. As you can tell, I'm not quite as experienced with the bow as I am with the hunting rifle, nor am I experienced with the stone. So, apologies if I sometimes miss, but I am going to show you. Those who are a bit squeamish, once again, you're going to want to look away. Oh, that is very saddening, but well. Unfortunately, it is a necessary evil if we want to stay alive. So now we gotta go find the third one that was here. And then I'm going to be grabbing a deer on our way back, and we're going to be going back to the base and the episode there. Because I am actually a bit shorter on time than I intended to be. And for that I apologize, but I'm gonna try to get this little bugger with the bow and arrow. Or I could miss entirely and send my arrow flying off 1,000,000 meters away. Oh, I have no clue where that landed. There it is. It is worth noting that just like the bow, the arrows themselves do have durability. So, the more I miss with shots like that, the worse off we're going to be. So I'm actually going to kill this rabbit with the stone instead. Again, look away. Apologies for that. I'm going to be grabbing our stone back, and then we're going to be heading down this way by simply walking down the mountain. Because if you shimmy just right, you can kind of get down here safely without having to worry about breaking your ankles. Just kind of got to take things a bit more slowly. And this will actually put us down right next to the camp office, and there will hopefully be a deer on the way back, the same way we came, that we can take out. But that is neither here nor there. It's actually putting us a little closer to the lake than I would have liked, so I'm going to be heading back in that direction. And apart from just gathering some firewood and killing this deer and potentially harvesting him up, I believe that will be most of what this episode will entail, which I've been trying to get done, for quite a while now. And apologies that it took so much longer than was foretold. This has been a couple episodes coming, but you can see here, this is a bit of a steep cliff, but if we just kind of take it slow. Okay, well, that was not go as planned. Oh. Okay. Perhaps this is a good instance to explain that I, once again, am not an expert at this game. So, yeah. Do as I say, not as I do, and even then, sometimes I'm wrong. Look at those birds.
I think I need to lay down.
Oh, the weather is actually getting a little bit worse, which is not preferable. I may have missed out on one of those ptarmigans up there, but I will not miss out on one down here. Now, I'm just going to saunter up to them slowly. This one is right in my field of vision. So I'm going to line up the shot, take the shot. He was hit. We'll walk up and avert your eyes. There we go. Got a fair bit of meat on us now. However, I still am going to be needing a bit more before I'm satisfied here. This wind is going to make it rather difficult to harvest the deer, but while also putting a fire down. But we are going to be going there. If you look up there, you will see a destination which we will be heading to in the next episode. We're going to be making our way to a couple more locations in Mystery Lake, and once we have geared up through there, I believe we're going to start heading towards the dam, which is often a location that people will go to get geared up on a lot of good things. And there have been a couple locations we have stopped by that some of you may or may not have found a hunting rifle. If you have not found one in the trapper's cabin, like we were fortunate enough to have done, then there are some locations nearby where you can get some more of them. Do I hear more of those ptarmigans? No, but I hear a wolf. But frankly, I'm not in the mood for it, so charge me. Oh dear. Thankfully, we were able to actually get him off of us fairly easily because I used the right weapon this time. But we do have a sprained wrist, which we will have to deal with in order to get our rifle back out. I believe that may or may not be the same wolf from before. And now, you saw that blood. That blood was not actually from us. I smacked him right in the face with a hatchet, which I was very lucky that I got him right off of us as opposed to the last time. And all we came out of it this time with was a sprained wrist. So that could have certainly been worse. I definitely need to learn to take the shot when I have the opportunity, because that could have been very bad. But I'm going to hope that when we get back to the trapper's cabin, there will potentially be a wolf, or a deer rather, closer to the cabin itself. And unfortunately, without a hunting knife, we will still be unable to efficiently harvest a lot of these carcasses. I just have had absolutely no luck in finding one of those. But since we are going to the forestry lookout that I had pointed out just a few minutes ago, hopefully that will change. We are going to have to be extra careful of Yogi because we have a bunch of meat on us. This is how that wolf was able to spot us so easily. The more raw meat and stuff you have on you, the easier it is for predators to spot you from farther away. So do, tend to keep that in mind. And we are going to be heading back to the trapper's cabin, and I will drop off the carcasses and everything, and rest up and everything in between episodes. The wind has died down, actually, so we might be able to harvest a deer here and now, just to get that out of the way. But I'm essentially going to be cooking up all the food and everything where applicable in between episodes. And I very well may upload these episodes the day after this one. Or rather, I will upload the next episode a day after this one, or I may not. It all depends on how things work out, but for all intents and purposes, the rest of this video will be me attempting to get back home safely. We are very tired from those climbs, so it may be easier said than done to do so, especially considering we are also very weighed down, due in part to the very same thing. But I would normally continue recording for a bit longer, but I am rather short on time at the time being. due to circumstances, so apologies for cutting this a bit shorter than you may have been used to from the last couple of episodes. But, you know, as I continue to do this, I will hopefully find my sort of groove and be able to get a more regular sort of style and schedule for all of these things. Actually, I am capable of sprinting, but the moment I begin to sprint, we will become completely exhausted, and as such, it will not really be of much use to us. I'm going to try not to shoot any does and save my bullets for bucks, because whereas they will have the same amount of guts and hide, the bucks will provide a lot more meat. And those of you that may be a bit more familiar with this game will know that the does are a relatively recent addition, and that prior to them being added, all of the deer in this game were bucks, and the does are actually sort of a downgrade to that, and they give a lot less meat than the deer used to, whereas the bucks still give the same amount, if not slightly more, in exchange for them
Feeling
having
so
become a bit
drained.
rarer. Usually, though, if there's a large group of deer in any location, there will be 1 or 2 bucks in the mix. In fact, there could be a group of them that spawned right outside of our cabin. So I'm going to drop off these carcasses and do everything with that in the next or in between episodes. And once we have gotten home safe and sound, I'll end the episode there, and we will start off the next one by hopefully hunting that deer. And we will head off to 2 locations in the next episode, which are very close to one another, to hopefully find some good stuff. And we may even find the key to that lockbox that we saw up in that cave. So we will deal with all of that, however, starting in the next episode. So for now, I'm just going to attempt to get home and hope to not have a close encounter of the Yogi kind while we are on our way. And also hope that William Mackenzie's fragile little ankles and wrists don't decide to implode. I suppose that is rather comedic timing. Yeah, it's worth noting that you become more likely to uh, get sprains and everything if you're walking on a slope while encumbered. And we are quite encumbered. But since we have pretty much made it home, I am going to start my outro right now. Because this is pretty much the end of the episode. I know it's a bit shorter than most, but I simply wanted to finish up the goal that we have set for the last couple of episodes. And you know, I will be recording a bit of a beefier episode tomorrow or whenever I next get around to it. So, with that being said, I have been going for Rogue 22, and if you enjoyed this video, please, by all means, feel free to leave a like. I will never ask you to, but it would be very much appreciated if you did. Leave any comments or feedback from me in the comment section down below in terms of my gameplay or my commentary. And by all means, if you wish to have just a general conversation or say hi in the comments, well, that's great too. And feel free to subscribe if you enjoy this kind of content, as it will let me know that you guys are interested in seeing more of it. And I will see all of you in the next video. Have a great day. Yogi is right over there. We might have to deal with him sooner than later. See you, everybody.